Hey, good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Have you ever had someone do something for you, extend kindness that was totally unexpected? In fact, beyond comprehension, really, when you really think about it. How did you feel? What did you do? How did that impact your future? You know, I was on a flight last week flying Southwest Airlines, and I had to catch a shuttle, so it was a tight. It was running about an hour late, and I knew if it went any later than that, that I might miss my shuttle. And it was the last shuttle of the day, the last shuttle of the night. And so I was fortunate to get right in the front row. I was Southwest Airlines, so you pick your seat, and I got front row aisle. So I knew I could get off quickly. After sitting there for a minute, somebody took the inside seat. Then right at the end, a flight attendant came on, and you could tell she was exhausted. She was carrying a drink right here, probably a soft drink, in those big containers, and she carried her bags and she stuffed her stuff up, and she sat down and she was just like, oof. And she was carrying so much, she kind of took up a lot of room and everything. But I told her, hey, save the seat for you. I kept holding it for you, and she just laughed and she said, thank you very much. And that was about the extent of our conversation. And I was reading a book which talked about kindness. It talked about divisiveness in our country. And it talked about the solution was to reach out, to love your neighbor, to do more for other people instead of finding the things that are wrong. And I was in it and I was marking it up and everything. And well, we finally got off and we landed. The flight attendant came on and said, for those of you, the person sitting in such and such C, such and such B, such and such C, I know you have flights to this area. Those of you that have flights, will you please be patient, let them off? And I thought, okay, that's fair enough. There wasn't that many of them. And as I stood up, I thought, well, I could grab my bag, my small bag first. And here, sure enough, here they started coming. And the poor lady across from me had put her bag in the aisle, and it was so heavy she couldn't get it back out. So I picked it up and held it. And here came the crowd coming down, and pretty soon you realize, wait a second, these people, I don't have their flying, they're pushing and shoving and everything like that. And finally the flight attendant said, ladies, this is just for those that have an urgent connection. I mean, we were landing in Vegas, there's a lot of people, that was the destination. Okay, so I could see that. So I blocked the aisle, gave it back to her, mumbled under my breath about these people, just this ornery people that don't care. That's my thought. Didn't even say anything to the lady next to me. Reached up and got my bag. I might have said, have a nice trip or something, and out the door I went. And I was going fast. And I was navigating my way through the airport, and probably 10 minutes or so of going full speed. And finally, as it came to an open area right before you go into baggage claim, and I hear, sir, sir, sir. And I turned around and looked, and it was that flight attendant pulling her bags, those double bags, carrying her stuff. You forgot your book. Oh my gosh. Totally unexpected. I knew I had left my book on because when I got off, I looked for it. It was gone. I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to buy another one. That was a good book. But what really impressed me was what she did. I mean, she had to run, and she was not the kind of person you would think would be running through an airport. But she did it. And that was a huge act of kindness. I think about the world and the world that we're in right now, and I think about what's going on. And really, every little act of kindness, no matter how small, creates a ripple that spawns endless waves. Because guess what I was doing after? I was looking for ways that I could express kindness, that I could do things out of the way, all the way home. And it impacted me. And now look at me sharing it with you, and I've shared it with so many others. We all have the opportunity to make a difference, but it's up to us to take responsibility. We have a concept in Empowered Wealth in the river it's called arrows out. And arrows out, too much of the world right now with social media and everything, all the arrows are in. But if we could turn the arrows out. Now, I think she probably felt pretty good for doing that. But you know what? I felt great. And I created ripples that are going to go on. And my guess is she created a ripple with me that's going to continue on forever. So let me ask you, what small ripples can you create? What small ripples can you create today? What small ripples can you create this week simply by looking for ways that you can go out of your way to turn the arrows out and make it about other people and create ripples that will spawn endless ripples into the river of life. I'm grateful for that flight attendant, for the lesson that she taught me. I am going to be better because of what she did that day, that evening. I hope you have a meaningful week. Create some ripples. Let's go do it. All right? Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.